Well, guys, I actually just saw a post today in a Facebook thread that was like had a screenshot of a request, not the usual bad request, by the way. It's just I've never heard of this restaurant in my life. What is it? What if I told you about ghost kitchens? Forest Lake, Minnesota, which is my market, we have three of them. What is a ghost kitchen, you ask? Well, a ghost kitchen is a label of a restaurant that doesn't really exist as a restaurant per se. What it is it's a food concept that operates out of a kitchen that doesn't actually have that name, or an established restaurant that doesn't have the name of the ghost kitchen. So let me take a quick minute here to explain the three that we do have. One is called Papa Corazon's Quesadillas, which again is not an actual restaurant chain. It is a ghost kitchen concept though that is sold to restaurants, and it's usually these types of ghost kitchen concepts are usually bought by restaurants that are struggling. Now, the restaurant that is struggling in this case is Perkins. Perkins is struggling in Forest Lake, and struggling bad. The reason why I know this is because, well, you just gotta look at the kitchen, or the restaurant itself and the kitchen. It's never full. I mean, it's barely not even a third full, even on a Friday or Saturday night. And the people that are there are senior citizens, which, no knock on senior citizens, but that's typically not a growing portion of the population per se. So they also have a demographics problem, and they also have a food problem because Perkins' food is very generic. It's not very special. They get most of their food from Cisco, which is the nation's largest restaurant wholesaler. The food that they serve, there's no creativity whatsoever. It's very bland, it's very boring, it's very generic. If you're under the age of 60, you have no reason to eat there. So here comes Papa Corazon's Quesadillas, a ghost kitchen concept. And this is where we've never heard of this restaurant before concept comes in. Let's say I get an order from Papa Corazon's Quesadillas. The directions it gives me to are to Perkins. You pick up for Perkins. And it's really Perkins in disguise. The other one is also operated out of Perkins. It's called Mr. Beast Burger. Mr. Beast Burger is probably a company that sells this concept to other struggling restaurants like Perkins. As I understand it, those exist across the nation. So I think it's a pretty big ghost kitchen concept, but nonetheless it is sold to struggling restaurants as a solution for their problems. I don't need to explain the problems a second time about Perkins in Forest Lake. So I'll just leave it and say that Mr. Beast Burger is, again, Perkins in disguise. You get an order from Mr. Beast Burger, and the directions take you to Perkins. And you go in there and you pick up the Mr. Beast Burger order from the Perkins register and the Perkins host stand. So those are two ghost kitchen concepts that operate out of the same restaurant. We have a third that operates out of an entirely different restaurant entirely. It's called Fame Grilled Cheese, which is a play on the restaurant's actual name, Famous Dave's Barbecue. I think Famous Dave's actually brought this one up themselves. I don't think it's a national chain. I think it is contained mostly within Famous Dave's restaurants. And Famous Dave's is struggling. It's not as bad off as Perkins, but it is struggling. Its lot is not even a third full on a Friday or Saturday night. It doesn't have the age problem that Perkins does, but the problem with Famous Dave's is it's been overtaken by private equity, which means that the food is nowhere near as good as it used to be under its original owner, who is Dave Anderson. That's the Dave in Famous Dave's. So they come up with a concept called Fame Grilled Cheese, which, as the name implies, they sell grilled cheese. Same process and procedure. You get an order for Famed grilled cheese. The directions will take you to Famous Dave's. You pick it up there at their counter. So there's the answer to that question. What if you get a restaurant that shows up on your as a request for a place that you've never heard of? This is how. It's called ghost kitchens. They're called ghost kitchens because the actual restaurant itself doesn't exist, but they're operated out of existing kitchens that do. So the kitchen for Papa Corazon's Quesadillas and for Mr. Beast Burger is Perkins. The kitchen for Famed Grilled Cheese is at Famous Dave's. But I think Famed Grilled Cheese, is a creation of Famous Dave's to sell a different food product line. Part of the reason why they do these things is that they want to make it look like, if you pull up the DoorDash app, for example, the restaurant names will list these. It'll show Papa Corazon's Quesadillas or Mr. Beast's Burger as restaurant options. And you're ordering from the Papa Corazon's Quesadillas and Mr. Beast Burger menus. But it doesn't tell you that it's actually Perkins. So this is the deception part. These restaurants want you to believe that they're local. They're not. They're part of national chains, and they're basically, in the case of the first two, Perkins in disguise. To help, the pitch as a solution to bail out struggling restaurants, which Perkins absolutely is, not just in Forest Lake, but nationally as well. So, that is my hot tip for the day. Ghost kitchens. If it's a restaurant that you've never heard of, this is why. Anyway, this is Jason. We'll talk to you next time. Peace out, homies.